For people like me with rotten soul and fans of hardcore horror movies, these are like snacks, you know? Nobody is safe anymore. And that's when the movie starts for me. Alright, I'm gonna talk about 5 so-called horror movies with Stranger Things vibes, because that's what I promised you last time. So if you're a fan of the show, you might like these movies too. These films share common elements like summer settings, often at camps, horror themes, young protagonists, and distinctive 80s atmosphere. While classified as horror, they lean more toward comedy horror, not the kind that terrifies you. Know what I mean? If you struggle with scary movies but still want something spooky without being traumatized, these films might be perfect for you. About my rating system from previous videos, I'm not sure how to apply my skull ratings here since these movies aren't particularly scary. They're more what I'd call popcorn horror. Light, fun, and easy to consume. Maybe I should use pop skulls for them instead. For people like me with rotten soul and fans of hardcore horror movies, these are like snacks, you know? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen and horror aficionados, my name is Bouquet and welcome to my horror corner, Bouquetified. I'll be ranking these movies based on my personal preference, starting with my least favorite and saving the best for last. So without further ado, let's dive into the list. Alright, the first movie on my list is The Final Girls. The Final Girls, a 2015 movie, is a quirky, heartfelt twist on the slasher genre. It follows Max, a young woman still grieving the loss of her mother, a former scream queen from a cult 80s horror film. When Max and her friends attend a special anniversary screening of the movie, a bizarre accident pulls them into the film's blood-soaked world, and now they're trapped in this cheesy summer camp slasher movie. They must team up with the film's characters, including Max's mom's on-screen persona, to outwit the masked killer and survive until the credits roll. Literally until the credits roll. And I won't lie, the horror elements take a good while to kick in, but I really appreciated the time travel concept. Also, being stuck in a film is an interesting premise in my opinion, and they cleverly poke fun at horror cliches throughout. As someone who also loves horror parodies like Scary Movie or Shriek If You Know What I Did Last Friday the 13th, I particularly enjoy this aspect of the movie. I'd give it a 1 pop skull for its horror level, and remember, we're not using my regular horror skull ratings here, that's just something to keep in mind. Alright, the second movie on my list is Hell of a Summer. Hell of a Summer is a lighthearted slasher comedy that feels more like a nostalgic summer hangout than a terrifying horror ride. Co-directed by Billy Brick and Finn Wolfhard. And yes, it's Mike Wheeler from Stranger Things, who not only co-wrote the screenplay but also stars as one of the camp counselors. The movie takes place at Camp Pineaway, where a new group of counselors gathers for the summer. Among them is Jason Hochberg, played by Fred Hetchinger, who feels a little out of place surrounded by younger teens. The poor guy's just trying to hang out with cool kids while everyone's too busy with their drama, hookups, and inside jokes instead of actually doing their job. It's kind of awkward to watch him try so hard, as it comes across as both sad and pathetic. Just when everyone's settling into their summer vibes, finally a masked killer crashes the party, turning their carefree summer fling into a desperate scramble to stay alive. And that's when the movie starts for me. We follow the group as they try to solve who's picking them off, with their friendships and crushes complicating everything. Some of the romantic storylines felt a bit forced in my opinion. The whodunit element drives the plot, but they revealed the killer's identity too early in my opinion. We definitely could have waited a little longer to discover who it was. Unlike hardcore slashers, Hell of a Summer is much more comedy with a dash of horror than Nightmare Fuel. If you're into horror movies that offers more laughs than scares, Hell of a Summer might be totally your jam. It works better as a teen comedy with a slasher backdrop than a full-fledged horror experience. And the movie isn't trying to shock you with plot twists or terrify you, it's just here for a good time. Just don't go in expecting edge of your seat terror. That's all I'm saying. Overall, I give Hell of a Summer 2 pop skulls, and moving on to the third movie on my list, Fear Street 1978. So Fear Street Part 2 1978 takes us back in time as the middle chapter of the trilogy. The film takes place at Camp Nightwing during the summer of 1978. We follow 2 sisters, Ziggy and Cindy Berman, 2 very different girls navigating camp life. Ziggy, the rebellious outcast, doesn't fit in with the polished Sunnyvalers, while Cindy, the responsible one, desperately wants to escape Shadysider's bad reputation. Their strained relationship gives the film its emotional core, and Stranger Things fans will recognize Max, Wink wink, Sadie Sink, who plays one of the sisters. When a horrifying attack unleashes a killer at camp, the sisters, along with other campers and counselors, are forced into a desperate fight for survival. As a middle chapter, it succeeds in expanding the trilogy's lore. For fans of Friday the 13th style camp slashers, it's a loving homage. You're not only watching a slasher unfold in real time, but also you're witnessing another chapter in a curse that stretches across generations. And also, in my opinion, the time travel element always adds a very nice touch to the stories. I always love the time travel concept. I also like the twist at the end, by the way. It completely contradicted what I had assumed from the beginning of the movie. I was pleasantly surprised by that revelation. Based on its horror level, I'm rating Fear Street Part 2 with 3 pop skulls, and also that unicorn joke caught me off guard. Oh wait, that was from Part 1, wasn't it? Sorry, my bad. Anyway, the fourth movie on my list is She Came From the Woods. It's the summer of 1987, and the season is ending at Camp Briarbrook. The last bus of kids has just left, and the counselors, finally free of their responsibilities, are buzzing with energy. They're eager for one final night of fun before heading back to the real world of school and responsibilities. Yikes. Anyway, as the sun goes down, everyone's grabbing beers, flirting, and cracking jokes around the campfire. Mixed in with all their wild partying is this creepy old story about Nurse Agatha, some dead camp nurse whose spooky tale has been floating around forever. Rumor has it she was into some dark and weird rituals and supposedly cursed the whole camp, but most of the counselors, as always, just roll their eyes and brush it off as another lame, scary story. So these counselors decide to mess around with one of the spooky Agatha rituals, treating it as a harmless prank, but then things get super weird when their little joke backfires big time. And next thing you know, something creepy is moving around in those woods. Whoopsie doopsie. Their carefree night suddenly unravels into chaos. The once familiar grounds, cabins, trails, and the campfire circle transform into a danger zone where nobody is safe anymore. So while the setup begins as a typical end-of-summer party at camp, She Came From the Woods transforms it into a blend of slasher violence and supernatural horror. It's wild, gory, and kinda funny at times, but thoroughly steeped in that retro 80s vibe. Perfect mix of reckless teen energy and eerie folklore that spirals completely out of control. And look who is here! By the way, she's one of my favorite characters from Stranger Things. Based on its horror level, I give She Came From the Woods 3 pop skulls. And the final movie on my list is Summer of '84. This one's actually the closest to Stranger Things in my opinion. It features a similar vibe, though there are no cast members from the show in this film. Despite having predominantly male characters, something strongly reminds me of Stranger Things. And also the soundtracks. They're very similar. Set in the suburban Oregon during the summer of 1984, the story follows a group of teenage friends enjoying a carefree summer, riding bikes, swapping conspiracy theories, and killing time in tree houses. Until one of them becomes convinced their friendly neighbor might be hiding a dark secret. The story unfolds as a blend of nostalgic adventure and creeping mystery. It has a warm glow of Stand By Me. If you know, you know. The young cast portrays their friendship naturally. The gradual shift from summer adventure to creeping paranoia keeps you invested. It's again not a full-blown horror experience, but rather a slow-burning thriller with eerie undertones. Based on its horror level, I give Summer of '84 4 pop skulls. The psychological tension earned that movie its last star. And that concludes my list of Stranger Things-like horror movies for your summer viewing. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and share it with your horror-loving friends to help our horror community grow. I have so many horror movies waiting to be reviewed, and I hope to deliver them weekly. If I can be consistent enough, and that's one nice way of putting it. And if you want to chat about horror movies and books, check out my socials in the description below. Thank you for watching thus far, and I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, bye! It's the summer of 1978. Other way around, 87. Based on its horror level, I give... Alright. Not really good with numbers. And we're gonna go with that paragraph again. Anyway.